Did you have a chance to see any of Comey's testimony yesterday? What was your take?
I caught bits of it as it was happening and then tried to catch up with most of it later on. You know, I don't think there was a lot that we didn't already know. The fact that he had submitted his written testimony revealed a lot of any news that might come out. But there was something kind of remarkable about just hearing him say the words, you know, to hear the former head of the FBI say with pretty sort of comfortable ease that he was just worried that the president would lie about the meeting. I mean, that's where we are, that without shocking anyone, the former head of the FBI can just sort of drop into conversation a fear that the president would lie about a really significant moment, a meeting that took place in the Oval Office.
Right. And
no jaws dropped. Because, of course, we know the president lies all the time.
So,
in fact, he lies when the truth would serve him better.
That's an excellent way of putting it. No, seriously. So here's until a month ago, the chief law enforcement officer of the United States, who, as you point out, under oath, says he was afraid the president would lie at the very first meeting. The president did lie, plain and simple.
Right.
He was so uncomfortable with the pressure he was getting, he didn't even want to be alone with the president anymore. He was so certain he would lie that he felt he had to make notes about every meeting that he had with Donald Trump. How can anybody say, this is a good day for Donald Trump?
Only Donald Trump could say it's a good day for Donald Trump.
Or Paul Ryan.
Or Paul Ryan. God love him. I know Paul feels like he has to defend the president, but no, you don't, Paul. You really don't. It's not good for the country that people have this impression that no matter what Donald Trump does, that the majority, their elected representative, the person who's elected to represent their little hometown, is supposed to be in the tank with a president who clearly has no moral compass. We don't have to be blind supporters of this guy, for God's sake. We should do our jobs.
Right.
And only a few, remarkable few members on the Republican side have been willing to sort of say the emperor has no clothes.
What's it going to take?
Unfortunately, and this is not a good reflection, when the interests of those members of Congress when they perceive their interest to be compromised by Donald Trump's continued presidency is when they will back away from him. But right now, they are using this guy because they know that Donald Trump will sign anything that they put in front of him.
Right.
In fact,
without reading
he
it,
loves
of course.
Signing stuff.
Yeah. Oh.
He had a signing ceremony for an inter-office memo the other day. I mean, did you see that?
You mean the infrastructure
on
thing,
the infrastructure thing,
Yeah.
on air traffic control.
Yeah.
It was an inter-office memo.
Did nothing.
I mean, he could have a signing ceremony for like when you go get sushi and you write it down on the little card. He'll have cameras, and he'll say what a great day it is. This guy is playing president. It's a
So what you're saying is
sad.
When their reelection is imperiled.
When their reelection or their agenda is imperiled, and to give them credit, let's say their agenda, these folks will do backflips. They would declare anyone to be the ideal public servant if it means they can get massive tax cuts passed, and that's really what I think they're hanging on for. The Affordable Care Act repeal is a big deal. Yesterday, this repeal of Dodd-Frank was a horrible piece of legislation that passed the House on an almost party line.
I want to talk to you more about that in a minute.
But the big deal for the Republicans was, and always has been, tax cuts for the wealthy. And until they get their tax cuts passed, they are going to try to prop this president up. It's going to be like Weekend at Bernie's. They're going to carry him around until they get their tax cuts.
Right. And no, we don't get that.